never have before. We're off to a fantastic start. Under partly cloudy skies, 80 degrees, humid. Yeah, that's Florida this time of the year. And if you're a right-handed hitter and you can pull the ball, left field's going to be a whole lot of fun if you get the ball in the air. So look at this place. From the third base side where the Astros dugout is, the amazing facilities with cages, places to hit, places to lift, unbelievable weight facility here. And FP, I know you're in love with this clubhouse.
Well, look how big it is. It's twice the size of the clubhouse at Nats Park because you have so many players in spring training. They did a heck of a job. And the guys today were on the main field for the first time in batting practice. There was guys walking in the dugout saying, all right, looks good, because they've been on the backfields until right now.
Well, Dusty, one of the most popular guys in this town all of a sudden. Here come the Houston Astros, who won 84 games last year. Jose Altuve, this guy is just amazing. Made his spring debut with a base hit and an RBI yesterday. The Nats were in Houston years ago when he was first called up from Double-A ball, and he has just fashioned an amazing career. MVP kind of guy, batting champion kind of guy. He just was unbelievable last year. Hit .338, 24 homers, 96 RBIs, and the sky is the limit for him and that young Carlos Correa, who plays up the middle alongside. 37-year-old Jeremy Guthrie, 91 career wins, trying to win a job here in South Florida.
It turns 38 in April. Jeremy Guthrie towing the slab for the first pitch here at the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. 15-game winner for the Royals in 2013. Pitched Game 7 of the 2014 World Series. Started Game 7. So we're excited to see him. You'll probably remember him mostly from the Orioles, 5 years as an O. And here's your first defense for the Nats. Here we go. Lind, Eaton, Harper in the outfield. Turner, Drew left side. Murphy, Robinson right side. And Derek Norris behind the plate.
All kind of new faces, new names. Adam Lind, a guy who has established himself. There's Mr. Consistency over the last couple of years. Adam Eaton as well. He's been impressive. Derek Norris traded by the Nats to the A's years ago, part of the Gio deal, and now he's back. Marwin Gonzalez first up for the Houston Astros.
Yeah, this isn't just the first spring training game. It feels like opening day just because of all the pomp and circumstance before the game.
First pitch, fastball a little bit outside. We're underway at 107. Marwin Gonzalez, 254 for the Astros last year, 13 homers, 51 RBIs. How often do you see a first baseman leading off? Hardly ever. Home plate umpire is John Libka. Then around the bases, bunch of veteran guys, Angel Hernandez, C.B. Buckner, and Andy Fletcher, and they might move around a bit as the day goes on. One pitch. Ball cutting back in toward the left-handed hitter. Off to the left side it goes.
Well, Guthrie pitched in Australia this winter. Didn't play last year, just went to Stanford and got his degree. How about that, last summer?
That's a full year.
That might be better than playing.
91 and 108 career, 272 big league starts. Very close on the down and inside. Count goes 2-2.
Spring training for the umps too. Relax. Clearly inside by a mile.
Had some run back action to it, but not enough. Now Norris sets up away. How to play left side.
I'll tell you what, I was here yesterday, Carp, about 5 o'clock, and in the concourse, in the walkways, everywhere around the ballpark, people scrambling to get this thing ready, and it just blows your mind when you're here one day and you see how much work they did working through the night to get this ballpark ready for the game today, and you come today and it looks like it's been here for 10 years. So congratulations to everybody who worked harder than hard to get this ready.
That's low. Off speed, mid-80s, 3-2.
And it is beautiful.
Official seating capacity, according to the architect, 6,440 seats. And then they can put another 1,000 to 1,200 out on the berms in left and right field. And Mark Lerner told me that if it ever happens where they might sell standing room, and that could happen a couple of weeks from now when the Yankees are here, they could get nearly 8,000 in this ballpark. Huge video board out right field. Good battle here.
We're just showing you, what the fans see and all around this place. The field's on the backside, the weight room, the training rooms, the facilities here. I mean, if you're a player for the Nats or the Astros, you have no excuses to not be ready for opening day. You have every amenity you could possibly imagine.
Yeah. Another payoff pitch. This one popped up left side. Stephen Drew over to have a look, but it's a good 15-20 rows up.
The commissioner's here. I don't think he's digging the pace of play right now. Jeremy Guthrie.
Rob Manfred will join us for a half inning, and if FP gets anywhere near through his list of questions, it's going to be about a 12-run inning.
But Jeremy Guthrie's going to hit his pitch count here on the first hitter of spring training. Well, in this ballpark at least.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, there are 12 guys in the bullpen today. 3-2 again to the leadoff hitter and a step out.
10th pitch coming. This great at bat.
He keeps battling, and Guthrie gets the strikeout. He's pitched 1 inning this spring. Gave up a couple of hits, a run the other day, but you don't worry about ERAs too much at this stage. And the next hitter will be Alex Bregman, third baseman, who's about to turn 23 years of age in a week or so, from Albuquerque. 49 games for the Astros last year, hit .264. Astros a very intriguing club as you look at the very talented AL West. Rangers considered the front runner. Angels have to be better than they were last year, you would think.
Well, they got Danny Espinosa, of course.
There you go. Seattle, solid. Oakland. And then here come the Astros. And one of the big things about last year, their Cy Young Award winner, the defending Cy Young Award winner, Dallas Keuchel, pitched hurt all of last year and didn't tell anybody. This ball into right center. Wynn's going to knock that down. It's moving from right to left, and that's why Bryce has to make a last-second adjustment. The wind's been blowing hard all day from the right field corner over toward the left field corner. And those pop-ups will come straight down out there.
Bryce is saying, well, last year Vieira, this is a home run.
Exactly.
So I'm going to break back on that. They're getting used to the wind currents here, the new field. And I say it every year, and it's the truth. There's no such thing as a routine fly ball in spring training. You have the lower stadiums. There's no backdrop. You have some clouds today that look like baseballs. So Bryce Harper, any kind of out is a good out in spring when you're an outfielder.
So here's Altuve. He just hits one hard down the right field side. This is a guy who uses the entire ballpark. They list him at 5'6", 164. And he's coming off a .338 season.
I mean, both of these ball clubs, you could argue, have maybe two of the best lineups in their league in baseball.
Yeah.
When you Springer, Altuve, Correa, Beltran, McCann, Bergman, Reddick, I mean, Aoki, there's some offense in this game and in these two teams.
To his left, Stephen Drew. Jeremy Guthrie really had to battle his first batter. Then he got a couple of quick outs. Here come the Nats. Runs already. Trey Turner, Murphy, and Harper. Great way to start. Jason Worth gets a DH today. And then Drew and Norris. Adam Eaton in the 7th hole today. Glenn Robinson gets a start. Adam Linden, left field, veteran guy, who's kind of getting reacquainted with the outfield as well. And then for the Astros, 31-year-old Mike Fiers, 34-37 career. For the Astros last year, 11-8 in 30 starts.
180 strikeouts, 64 walks. So fastball, slider, cutter, curveball change from Fiers. His fastball averages 90 miles an hour. You see opponents last year hit 280 off the Astros right-hander.
Trey 1 for 5, a home run so far. That was a shot to left field up at Roger Dean Stadium in Jupiter yesterday. Nats had a nice lead over the Cardinals, but gave it up with the bullpen in the 8th inning and lost that game. But Trey had a big swing in that contest.
Check out the numbers last season. 342, 13 home runs. Finished second in Rookie of the Year.
73 games, only 307 at-bats. We're drooling at the prospect of an entire season of watching him. That ball lined to right, and Teoscar Hernandez has it.
Here's defense for the Astros for today's game. Alpin, Marisnik Hernandez, the outfield. Correa, Bregman left side. Altuve Gonzalez right side. And Juan Centeno behind the plate. Applin, excuse me.
Yeah, Juan Centeno, former Met. This is a ball club that's got some catchers, don't they? Evan Gattis can be there. Brian McCann, our old nemesis, is with the Houston Ball Club. There's Daniel Murphy, 0 for 4 so far. Shift is on.
Coming off a really tough year last year.
You know, it's so tough to come to a new ball club, try to establish yourself.
Look at those numbers.
Let the guys get to know you. Well, one way you do that's by hitting 347. And the on-base percentage, 390. Got his 1,000th career hit last year. Career highs in a lot of categories for Murph, who will be 32 on the Saturday before the season opens. Ball with some action on it, tailing outside. 2-1. Beautiful sight lines here. That's our first base camera right at the top of the lower grandstand. Murphy hits one hard into left center. Wind's going to take it a long way. It one hops the wall. And on base for the first time in spring training, Daniel Murphy. And I don't think it needed any help from the wind. He hit it that well.
Well, funny, he was the one guy in the cage today during batting practice that was checking out the wind currents, and he was talking to some of the other left-handed hitters. He said, boy, it's really carrying to left. You can ride the breeze to left center. So knowing Daniel Murphy and how cerebral he is at the plate, this is by design. He was looking for something to drive into left center field. You take pull out of the equation today as a hitter, and you keep your hands inside the baseball if you're a left-handed hitter. So Daniel Murphy with a double, what new, and for the first time, there goes the long winner, and there goes the no-hitter. Smart.
Bryce Harper off to a good start. Long home run on the other side of the state the other day. Almost cleared the berm over there at the Twins ballpark, and he went 2 for 5 so far. Great batter's eye here too. It's a really high, darker green batter's eye, straightaway center. Room for the camera guys as well. And Bryce thinking about left field. He put a couple on the left center field berm in BP as well today.
What about the lower half for Bryce Harper? It looks more, I'd say the base looks more firm. I mean, he's put together like he was a few years ago. You remember last year he was a little more lean, but his legs to me really stand out as being a lot more thick this year. Must be nice to be Bryce Harper and guys breaking down every part of your game every day.
Every part of your life. 2-1.
Married in the off season. Congratulations.
Well, Bryce will tell you, long way to go to get back to 2015, but nobody more capable of that. A lot of guys would take that left-handed column as a pretty good year.
Yeah, the on-base percentage in his MVP season, 460.
Crazy. Good eye on the tailing fastball. 3-1.
Pretty good balance on that take.
Astros are going old school, colorful, everything you can imagine with their spring training uniforms here. A couple of years ago, they went back to the old navy and orange colors, but they still mix in some of the rainbow uniforms as well. 3-1. Harper takes it low in the zone. The count's full.
That might be a case where you overthink it a little bit. First base open, right-hander on deck. No way I'm getting a 3-1 fastball, and Mike fires through one right down the middle.
Big gap right center.
Might have been looking for it a little more elevated too. Belt tie right down the middle. It was borderline bottom of the zone. Yeah, Bryce Harper, his first at-bat in St. Lucie the other day, hit a Titanic bomb to right center field. Great, right? We know Bryce has pop. Yeah. The best part about that was he came up his next time and hit a base hit to left field, a low line drive to left field. It means he wasn't enthralled with the pull side. He used the whole field. You remember when he hit 330 in 2015, he used the entire field.
With authority. That ball's well hit. Left field, Applin back and off the wall. Bob Henley waves Murphy home. Back-to-back doubles by Murphy and Harper. The Nats are on top 1-0.
That's something we didn't see from Bryce Harper a whole lot last year, using that side of the field. You remember he had the balance problem, and who knows about the health of his shoulder and all the stuff that's been talked about in the offseason. But just looking at his base, his lower half, and the balance on his takes, and the fact that he's driving the ball the other way, which he's done a few times in spring training this year. Watch the balance in the plate coverage. He couldn't reach the outside pitch last year for whatever reason. Talk amongst yourselves. But this year, driving it to left field, I've seen that a couple of times. I know it's early, but that's a great sign.
So Jason Worth, first at bat of the spring.
Year number 7 of the 7-year deal. Here we go. The one that nobody talks about anymore as being a bad deal. Weird.
Yeah. Well, I think Jason Worth has taught all of us a lesson over the years. It's not like the numbers haven't been good. I mean, he was coming off career years in Philadelphia. But Jason has taught us, FP, that being a ball player, a teammate, and a leader in the clubhouse goes way beyond what we see on the stat sheet.
Exactly.
This got under that one, out to left for Andrew Applin. Sun suddenly out here. 2 down. Stephen Drew. About 14 months ago, signed a free agent deal with the Nats. Got banged up a little bit last year, but hit .266, which is remarkable for a part-time player and his production.
Yes, you call him Stephen Glue, because he was the glue of that bench last year. Every time Dusty Baker asked him to spot start, he'd go in there and make something happen offensively. Something he had never done in his career until last year. And then when he got a pinch hit, he added some pop off that bench. So, call me crazy, but I was real excited when the Nats signed back Stephen Drew.
Absolutely. And there were a little bit of talk that he could have gone elsewhere and had a chance to play every day, but he was so comfortable with our ball club. Each side wanted to be together, and Dusty's got a really good guy off the left side of that bench. And wait till you see the guy off the right side. Chris Heisey looks like he's 26 years old. He dropped about 20 pounds in the offseason. Looks amazing. He told me I felt like looking like a ball player again. And he was pretty good last year, but those are the two guys around which that bench rotates, with Clint Robinson thrown in there. Ball tailing, but it caught part of the plate. 2-2.
Fire's reaction on that was like the umpire called it a ball. Maybe it's not where he wanted to change up elevation-wise, but it was called a strike. Watch Mike Fire's reaction after the pitch. Don't watch the pitch. Watch the pitcher.
Oh, man. That was a ball.
Spring training, maybe he didn't want it in that location.
Yeah, 2-2. Then he really pulls the string on Drew, ball diving. But the Nats, doubles by Murphy and Harper. Both left-handed batters going the other way. Daniel, one hopping the wall out in left center. And then Bryce hitting one right to the top of the wall in left field. 1-0.
Ballpark of the Palm Beaches, Dan Kolko, Sean Kelly. Thank you for stepping into my office inside your brand new dugout. First of all, with our backs to the dugout, what are the odds we make it through this interview without any hijinks going on behind us?
I've thrown some threats out there, so hopefully pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, first of all, let's talk about the beard and what you got going on up top as well. The fans can't see that because of the hat. What was the motivation with the new look, and how would you evaluate the execution?
I lost my razor in the off-season, and the closest grocery store is about 30 minutes, so you know, I just had to let it go. And the hair is just, haircuts are getting expensive these days, like $16.99 at Sports Clips, so
yeah, that's not going to do.
It's not worth it. I just, you know, let it go.
Golden locks up top.
Golden locks, yes, curly.
Now, you were talking to me the other day. This is your second year with this organization. Just kind of about the leadership role that you feel like you have now in the bullpen. You're one of the elder statesmen, and you've been here now for a full year. How do you kind of view maybe your leadership role changing going into the second year with the Nationals?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough when you're a bullpen guy. You know, you're out there in the pen, and we're kind of our own entity. But you know, I hope guys respect me and look up to me, and I hope I lead by example and do things right. And I want to, you know, make sure that everybody, especially at this point in camp, even the younger guys, you know, that maybe their first camp or their second camp, or guys that aren't on the roster, can you know, kind of see how we do things here and you know, now that I know Mad Dog and Dusty a little bit better, or a lot better, you know, hopefully, you know, we can all kind of have the same goal and kind of the same work ethics and things like that. And, you know, the more we click, the better it's going to be as we go on through the season. So if I can help, you know, hold a little bit of that glue together, and then, you know, then we're all pulling on the same rope.
Everybody has eyes on the ninth inning, and it's a topic of conversation amongst the fan base that some people might call it a closer competition. You were saying you don't really view it that way. Tell me why.
You know, I just the competition thing is if we're not here, especially the guys that are already that are going to be in the bullpen, the guys that were here last year, if we need more, dang it.
Yeah, there we go.
We need more. I thought it wasn't gonna happen. If we need motivation to get ready, you know, then what are we here for? So I think that we all, you know, are here to get ready for the season. And as far as the competition thing, I mean, we're competing with ourselves to get ready for April, not with each other. So, you know, my thing is, let's all just get ready. Let's all work our butts off. Let's be ready come April and healthy and ready to go. And then and Dusty will decide, you know, maybe opening day, and then who throws that. But, you know, I think a lot of that's the media and a lot of hype and a lot of, you know, needing the name roles or whatever that may be. So I feel like we're going to get ready and be the best bullpen in the league.
The last time fans saw you on a mound, you were walking off with a little numbness in your hands in Game 5 of the NL Division Series. But you had a healthy off season, and you're feeling pretty good now. What went into kind of the way that you came into the spring feeling as healthy as you do?
I mean, I feel great. I went home a few days after the season, played a little catch, knew I was good, and you know, from that point on, had a normal off season. Worked out probably a little bit harder this year, ran a little bit more, and you know, I was telling you the other day, I feel probably about as healthy as I have in the last few years. So I'm just going to try to continue that and hopefully have another year of you know, start to finish and pitch every time they need me.
So the horse head was the main topic of conversation last spring. We made it through the whole year without seeing it in action, at least out in public view. Some T-shirts last year. You got anything in mind for 2017?
I got a few tricks up my sleeve. So,
okay.
But you know, I don't want to you know, let the cat out of the bag. So we'll keep that a secret. But the horse head is in Palm Beach. I will say that. Or West Palm. Where are we? West Palm?
West Palm.
The horse head is in the city limits.
Thank you, thank you, Sean, for the time. Turner making it. It's a lot going on here, Sean. Trey Turner with a nice play. We're going to break. Nationals still up 1-0 here in West Palm.
Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, and it was all the talk this winter. Who's the closer, and what's Trey Turner look like at shortstop? We all became very familiar with Trey in center field last year. It's where he played. Now moving back to his natural position, shortstop, gives you a little glimpse of what Trey Turner might bring to the table. You remember all the range in center field last year. How about the range at shortstop? Behind the bag, almost on the second base side, spin throw right on the money. Nice stretch by Clint Robinson. I like it.
Well done on both ends on the 6-3. Derek Norris, 2 for 4 with an RBI so far. Nats got him the 2nd of December in a trade for right-handed pitcher Pedro Avila from Oakland. San Diego, pardon me, Oakland his previous time, 13-14. Padres 15-16.
Well, the reason you're saying Oakland is because it's all he did was hit homers against the Nats while he was in Oakland Athletic.
Yeah. You know,
and
don't tell me that story when we're around Gio, because he got Gio twice that night.
It's understandable that you thought we traded him from Oakland, because that's where we think of him. There's the new guy, Matt Wieters.
Former Gold Glover. One and two to Norris, who has an RBI in the spring, and a breaking ball tapped out in front of home plate. Juan Centeno makes the play for the first out. Adam Eaton and Clint Robinson, the next two. Well, I think this is the kind of guy that you notice even if he's in the other league, because you hear nothing but great things about him. 300, 287, 284 the last 3 years. And then when he comes to your ball club, this is the kind of player fans fall in love with, because they see how hard he works. He grinds out at bats. He'll hit for power. He plays a great outfield, even into the wind. Look at the carry on that ball for the second out.
And he doesn't take enough pitches to let us talk about him.
It's all right. Got a long 7 more months.
I mean, he's a guy you're going to fall in love with, I'll tell you right now. If you don't fall in love with Adam Eaton this year as a Nats fan, you don't like baseball. He's going to bring it every single day, and he's got sneaky pop, and the reason Daniel Murphy's on the top step right there is because he hit that right in the teeth of the wind. That's a home run without the wind blowing in straight from right field. So 14 home runs last year, 9 triples, 29 doubles for Adam Eaton, and on top of that, he's got a cannon. And I'm trying to think, Carp, in our time together, has there really been an energy guy with the Nats that we see on a daily basis that brings his hard hat and lunch pail and plays with a lot of life and a lot of energy?
Yeah, got to be in the lineup every day. The guy, and not a Nat, but the guy that he reminds me of in his approach, he's the outfield equivalent of David Eckstein. I remember Eckstein being that kind of guy in the infield, fires guys up, diving all over the place.
With the intangibles, yeah, but with the tools, yeah, he's way ahead of David Eckstein.
That is a check swing by Clint Robinson and a foul. 0 for 4 with a walk so far in the spring. And I'm happy for Clint now that after 2 years ago, when he made the ball club for the first time, made it to a major league final weekend of spring training for the first time, he can come to spring training. I mean, he's probably taking the approach, I'm going to win a job here, but all those years of frustration and not getting a shot at the big league level, and now he's a bona fide veteran. He's going to drop one in there with 2 outs. First hit, that'll get Adam Lind to the plate at the bottom of the order, using the DH here in the early going. Single game tickets went on sale today. You won't want to miss the best matchups, hottest giveaways of the season, so that your pursuit starts right now. Visit nationals.com/tickets. Get your 2017 single game tickets as of today. Adam Lind, 33-year-old veteran, 271 career hitter, 287 against right-handed pitching. 11 years, Toronto, Milwaukee, Seattle. Silver Slugger back in 09 for the Toronto Ball Club when he drove in 114 runs and had 46 doubles.
And Dusty Baker before the game today talking about how he has to get certain guys a number of plate appearances so that they feel like they had a chance to make the ball club. You know, you never think about that when you watch spring training games, the bubble guys. You know, the worst thing a manager can hear at the end of spring training is, I think you have a chance. You gave me 10 at-bats. How am I supposed to make the team? And Dusty said one of the hardest parts about making up a lineup every day is making sure that his veterans are ready for opening day and that all the guys on the bubble get a good look. That ball is lashed to the left of the shortstop, Correa. Clint Robinson motors to third. And the Nats have 4 hits in the game. Back-to-back doubles first inning, back-to-back singles second inning. That was Adam Lind's first official at bat in the spring. good swing here by Adam Lynn. Foot down early. Kind of throws that front side open, but keeps his hands back. And even though the Astros are in a shift, it was hit so hard. Gets through Clint Robinson to third, and Trey Turner, who has the speed to beat out an infield single, has a chance to put his ball club up by 2 or more.
Yeah, that's huge with 2 outs and a runner at third. Trey goes up swinging. 307 at bats last year. So taking his numbers from last year and then knocking on wood and projecting him to be healthy all year, it could be amazing.
Well, he ain't sneaking up on nobody this year, that's for sure. I'm sure a lot of the pre-series meetings moving forward are going to be about Trey Turner and how to keep him off base, because you have a good chance of beating the Nats if you neutralize Trey Turner, number 1, pitch around Daniel Murphy, number 2, and I don't know, lineup's pretty deep. Good luck with everything after that. Yeah.
Sounds to me like there's 2 men on, nobody out, and you're facing the number 3 guy. Last year when Trey hit 342 with at least 290 at bats for a rookie. First time any rookie had done that since Ichiro back in 01 when Ichiro hit 350.
I mean, if one guy can speed up the pace of play by himself, it's Trey Turner.
That ball is well hit to right, and that is reachable for Teoscar Hernandez.
I said that the commissioner's sitting right next to me. That's
yeah, that was the ultimate tease. So the ball game just whizzing into the 3rd inning here. Nats on top, 1-0. Top of the 3rd inning. It's a great day for West Palm Beach. Great day for the Nats and the Astros. It's a great day for baseball. Commissioner Rob Manfred is with us. I was thinking about this morning, Rob. What does it mean to baseball as a whole when a new place like this opens up and opens up a new part of Florida to you?
Well, I'll say 2 things about this ballpark. The facility itself is unbelievable, and you know it's great that the city of Palm Beach County participated in the building of this great facility for major league players. But the most important thing about this one in particular is it kept a base of teams here in southeastern Florida so that we could have 2 centers of gravity in Florida, the one over by Tampa on the west coast, and then this one. Great for fans in this part of the state.
Yeah, I was wondering, most of the teams in Arizona now, it's so good to have them all bunched up here on this side of the state, on the other side of the state, like you said. And for a player, the travel that these guys had the last couple of years was real tough.
Right. I think that it's a huge advantage for Washington to not have that disadvantageous travel. I talked to some of the players when we were down on the field, and they were saying how great the facilities are in addition to the absence of travel, or the shorter travel that they'll have to be doing.
Yeah, you have no excuse as a player not to be ready for opening day. You go around the facilities, you see the whirlpools, the tubs, the pool they have here, the weight room, the turf field to get your sprint work in. Just amazing what these guys have at their fingertips nowadays.
Well, Governor Scott and really the whole state of Florida to be commended. You know, I was up in Lakeland for the governor's dinner last week, and you know, Lakeland was one of our older facilities. They put almost $50 million in it, and some of the players were saying, you know, the facilities here are better than what we have at Tiger Stadium. So it's
amazing.
Great.
Wow. Trevor Gott takes over for the Nats here in the top of the 3rd. Juan Centeno, Jake Marisnik, and Andrew Applin. That ball's well hit to right. Bryce Harper tracking it. 1 out. Commissioner, an amazingly exciting finish to the 2016 season. 2 great baseball cities made it to the World Series. 2 long-suffering fan bases. And just your reaction to not only the Cubs winning, but also the Indians for getting there as well.
Well, I just think that what we saw in the 2016 World Series is a demonstration of the fundamental strength of our game and the potential that it has. You know, the World Series captured America in a way that no other event can. It was just a fantastic year. In the 2 cities, you know, Chicago, everybody knows how wonderful it was, such excitement over the Cubs, but Cleveland was equally good. And, you know, whether it's 108 or 68, it's a long drought. So maybe it'll be the Indians' year this year.
A great year for baseball all the way around. So talking about the pace of play, we can't let you out of here. I have a running stick here on the broadcast that if I were commissioner, these are things I do. And I can't talk behind your back because you're the commissioner. So I would limit trips to the mound because I think that slows the game down the most. And throwovers to first base. I know that one's kind of out there, and I'd say that one tongue-in-cheek. But with all your initiatives right now and wanting to speed up the pace of play, the automatic walk thing is getting a lot of play.
Yeah, it is getting a lot of play. I mean, I think it's important to remember, look, we understand the automatic walk thing is a small thing.
Right.
We understand that. But we feel it's important to make every little change that the players are agreeable to that will move the game along. I agree with you on the mound visit issue. We had a proposal out there with the Players Association. We're going to continue to have dialogue with the Players Association.
What's the proposal, excuse me? How many trips would it be per se, just for instance?
Well, has been various proposals back and forth, but the general concept would be that we would limit to 2 in any particular inning the visits, but that would include catcher visits, player visits, as well as the manager and pitching coach visits that you have now.
I mean, the playoff series, and we've all talked about it between the Nats and the Dodgers, the games lasted so long, and it seems like, you know, when you're in those big games as a player, you try to slow it down because it can get away, and it seemed like Yasmani Grandal was going out there after every single pitch, and that's, to me, what's slowing the game down more than anything.
You think about it in a couple of categories. You don't want to affect the competitive outcome of the game. So the things we've tried to focus on are the things that are not directly related to the competition, to the action. And mound visits, I think, is a quintessential example of that. We're going to make some progress this year in terms of the delay in asking for instant replay. We're going to put the managers on a little clock. And I think those things are important just to keep the game moving along. But most important, you know, we need to have a dialogue with the players about how they want to see the game changed and how we can work together to make the game a little faster.
It sounds like that dialogue isn't on the page you want it to be right now, but hopefully it will be moving forward.
Well, you know, it's interesting. You have to be careful when you talk about the game because things, the play of the game on the field, because things get a little blown out of proportion. You know, really, there's a 2-year process in the basic agreement. All that I really tried to say at the beginning of the week is we're going to go into the second year of that process. We still want to make an agreement with the players. There's no rancor. There's no, you know, immediate threat to anybody enjoying the game. It's just that we're going to stay on this topic for the second year of a process that we negotiated with the MLBPA. I talked to Tony Clark the day after I had the press conference. He said, look, what you said is true. He said, and we're prepared to have conversations. So we'll see how it goes.
It's such a fine line because as a player, you have your routines and you play the game a certain way your whole life. And if that routine is disrupted in any way, whether it's something minute, it can really throw you off from a sports psychology, a mental side of the game. And I imagine that's where the push and shove and the give and take comes in.
Look, players are, you know better than I do, players are creatures of habit. I get that. It relates to the way they play their game. It relates to how effective they think they can be. By the same token, we can't lose sight of the fact that, you know, players are crucial. Everything inside the white lines are crucial. But, you know, these fans out here, they're also really important to us. And the ones that are not here are even more important than the ones that are here. And we have to everybody has to make a little contribution to make our product the best entertainment product it can be.
Love it.
Commissioner Rob Manfred with us. Rob, any thought, and we hear chatter about this every year, any thought, with all this in mind, you and FP have been talking about the rosters in September. Any limit to that on the horizon? Because we know that can't be contributing positively to the time of game average either.
Yeah, we had a ton of dialogue on rosters during the basic agreement negotiations. I think we will get back on that issue, and we will eventually have some change in that area. Here's the problem, and you know, the 40-man roster in September is a great example of it. The game has changed itself. You know, it's evolved. It's not like we're trying to change something that's been the same for 100 years. The game has become different over time. And the way I think about the things we're talking about is how should we manage that change? Do we need to bump the game back towards the way it used to be a little bit, when it was shorter, faster, quicker? And I think September rosters, you know, 25 years ago when I started in the game, they used the players in a way that it wasn't such an obvious problem. Now with the reliance on relief pitching, you know, we had games where there were 18 pitchers last year.
Oh yeah, we're well aware. No, but I like it. Society's changing, and baseball has to change with the times. And you know, in our ADD society, where you know everything's real time, as quick as possible, and the game still has that pace that it's had for hundreds of years, 140 years. You need to make adjustments.
And I think it's been great in recent years. The perception from those of us in the booth and not on the field or in the front office, labor peace has been a big part of what you guys have been involved from Commissioner Seelig right to you over the last many years now.
Yeah, look, we were really fortunate to make a new basic agreement. I think the agreement will turn out to be good for players, good for owners, and good certainly for the fans. So that's a good thing. I think the other big positive is what we were just talking about. You know, the ink isn't even dry on the basic agreement, and we're talking to the union about a variety of issues during the term of the agreement. You know, it used to be you'd do your basic agreement, everybody would retreat to their neutral corner for 5 years, and, you know, there wasn't that much dialogue. For better or for worse, we have plenty of dialogue with the MLBPA on an ongoing basis, and that's good for labor relations.
Well, I think you should initiate replay in spring training games, because he was out right there.
We've missed one already.
There you go.
Commissioner, you were in Nationals Park for opening day last year. We get you for opening day down here in Florida. We treasure our time with you. Thank you so much. And we know you're busy and you've got to run, but we really appreciate your stopping by.
Well, it's great to be with you guys. Always a pleasure to see you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rob. Commissioner Rob Manfred.
All right, now we get back to crushing them.
Oh, come on. And I have to tell you that in a very short period of time, you and I and other people around our ball club and some other ball clubs have seen what an upfront guy he is, and who put on the headset, go on the air with us, and spend time with us. And we really value that. That's awesome stuff. And he's taken the greatest game in the world and trying to make it even better.
He is. And he's such a nice guy that when he was salty the other day in Scottsdale in his press conference, you know, you sat up and you paid attention to it, because, you know, you don't see that side to him. So when he's passionate about something, he'll let you know, and you gotta like that.
Yep. Top of the third. That was Jake Marisnick who dropped that single into left field and then stole second base. Back to the top of the order, Marwin Gonzalez. Jeremy Guthrie, who pitched 2 hitless, scoreless innings, struck him out first time. And now a 2-2 count from Trevor Gott. It's a breaking ball that's in there. Good-looking late cut in on the left-handed batter. 2-3-4 ahead. That means Daniel Murphy is first. He's already doubled and scored.
This West Palm Beach, Ryan Zimmerman joining me. Ryan, hello. Good to see you as always. You've been with this organization since 2005. You're now in a brand new spring training facility. How would you evaluate kind of how far this organization has come in this area and what kind of impact this can make?
Yeah, it's great. I think, you know, Melbourne was a great home for us, and we got a lot of things done there, but you know, this facility is unbelievable, top notch. Gives us a chance to ultimately do whatever we need to do to get ready for the season, which is the reason why we're down here, and give us a better chance to win.
Maybe more importantly for you, how do Heather and the girls like it here in West Palm?
Yeah, they're down here. They're enjoying the city. There's a lot to do down here. Many things for the wives and the kids, and which makes us feel a little bit better about being at the field for 8 and 9 hours a day with giving them some activities to do. But it's a beautiful facility, great city, and you know, we're just learning about all this stuff here. We've been having fun.
Now, last year had its ups and downs for you individually, but you raked in the division series. Is that something that you can pull from that going into an off season and try and build off of that at all, or is it kind of wipe the slate clean and come at it again?
Yeah, I think you wipe it clean and go after it. I think you know, you always try and take positives out of every year, but you have to learn from the negatives as well. And you know, last year was frustrating for me. Obviously, I didn't play or put up the numbers that I wanted to put up, but finished the year strong. And key for me is just to be healthy, and you know, staying on the field doesn't necessarily mean I'm healthy. It's, you know, being on the field and being able to do all the things I need to do to perform, and right now I feel great, and I'm going to look to keep it that way this year.
How do you approach an off season differently now than maybe you did earlier on in your career?
Yeah, I mean, as you get older and as you get a lot of miles on you, you have to adapt and evolve, and you know, the weightlifting and the cool things that I used to do aren't so cool anymore. The warm-up takes longer than the actual workout. But, you know, those are the things you have to do, and you have to embrace it and kind of challenge yourself to find new ways to be healthy and stay on the field, because, you know, that's half the battle.
Quickly here, early thoughts on this team. A lot of similar faces to what we've seen last year or the year before, but what's kind of the early vibe here?
Yeah, I think Dusty does a great job of, you know, the core group is back. You add a guy like Adam Eaton, a couple other guys in the bullpen. Matt Wieters, obviously, been around for a long time, done a lot of good things, and a lot of depth, I think, whether it's going to be the guys here, a lot of guys who have played in the big leagues who might not make the team, who might be in AAA with, I mean, just, you know, it's a long season, and a lot of things can happen, and when you have established big league guys coming here trying to fight for jobs, and depth is important. So great group of guys, all willing to do anything to win, and a lot of depth. So good start, but a long ways to go until that first game.
Thanks for the time, Ryan. We'll see you in a game, what, 3 weeks from now?
A little bit sooner than that.
Okay.
Sometime soon.
Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it.
All right.
Bob, back upstairs to you.
Yeah, we know that Ryan needs at least 10 at-bats to get ready for the regular season. Yeah, Dan referenced his division series. He was on base 9 times against the Dodgers. 3 walks, 6 hits, drove in a couple of runs with that long fly ball you saw. Fantastic finish to the season. And I thought he was magical with the glove at first base. 3-1 to Bryce.
Well, his exit velocity last year was 12th or 13th in all of baseball, talking about Ryan Zimmerman. But his launch angle, meaning the trajectory of the ball off his bat, was 7.9. And for you fans that don't know, 0 to 10 on your launch angle is a ground ball. So with all the shifts now, you could hit the ball as hard as you want on the ground. There's no hits on the ground like there may have been back in the day. So what Ryan's really focusing on this spring is improving the trajectory or the launch angle when he makes contact.
There's a 3-2 pitch taken by Bryce Harper, who's on base for the second time.
Check out Bryce's day-to-day. First time in right field at the new yard. Which way does the wind blow? I think it blows in. Nice adjustment, nice play. Adam Eaton helping him out verbally, cruising over there. And then how about the double his first time up? Just missed the tater. That scored Daniel Murphy a double right before him. So Bryce Harper on base twice, getting his work in. Looks good.
Jason Worth, second AB. He hit a fly ball to left first time. Infield shift to the left side on Worth.
And by the way, I've been studying up on my analytics this offseason.
I heard about that.
Spin rate, launch angle, exit velocity, just to name a few. And that thing with Ryan in the launch angle curve, to me, it's just about, as Daniel Murphy always says, looking for the bottom half of the baseball. And back in the day, we used to look for the top half of the baseball.
That's what coaches always told you, right?
Yeah, backspin the baseball, create backspin, the ball travels, but the way the game has evolved with the velocity out of the bullpens, you do damage in the air. So I think it's just a mindset for Ryan Zimmerman. I don't think it's a big mechanical change where he has to lose the hitch and the leg kick and all the stuff he does. It's just, okay, I'm going to look for the bottom half of the baseball and try to drive it in the air, gap to gap, do damage, and, you know, maybe miss a few into the bleachers, take that whole ground ball mentality out of the way. But I think, number one, you have to be healthy to do that. Number two, you have to have a mindset and an approach that allows you to do that. And Daniel Murphy is a perfect example.
With a count of 1-2, second baseman Jose Altuve has moved to the right field side of second base. And you would figure the next pitch would be away. So it's 2-2 with 1 out.
And I figured I can't be this old curmudgeon up here that keeps poo-pooing the analytic crowd. I have to learn it because baseball's heading that way, whether you're on board or not. That's the way it's going. So we're going to talk about it, explain it in terms that doesn't make your head explode this season.
3-2 now. As C.J. Reifenhauser got Murphy on a ground ball, walked Harper, and now he's gone full on Jason Worth. Yeah, that whole thing about it, launch angle, has just been fascinating to me to read about how Ryan's 2016 season was broken down.
And the exit velocity, the spin rate's a thing that's just fascinating to me. And these are all terms that we've used throughout the history of baseball. in baseball ease, so to speak. Late life. What's late life? That guy's got some hop on his fastball. He's throwing 90, but guys are fouling it off in hitting counts. Why are they fouling it off? It says 90 on the scoreboard. Well, that has late life. What is late life if you want to quantify it? It's spin rate. The ball is spinning at a greater rate in the hitting zone.
Worth levels off and hits one well to right, but Hernandez right there, 2 down.
And we'll get into all that stuff later. It's too soon for all that right now. I don't want my head to explode. But there's ways to create spin rate, launch angle, exit velocity, and we'll get into that. It's going to be fun.
Well, I know last year at this time we were thinking Ryan, if healthy, with the addition of Murphy and Ben Revere to that lineup, is going to drive in a ton of runs. Now Ryan, even though he didn't hit for high average last year, he was very productive with his hits. And then the injuries came, and they came kind of late in the season, really. The plantar fasciitis got him in the middle of June till late in July. Actually, that was in 15, pardon me. It was the left rib cage strain in July last year, then the left wrist contusion in August. So he was kind of clipping along healthy for a couple of months. 93 hits, produced 46 RBIs for Ryan Zimmerman last year. Stephen Drew struck out swinging first time. Juan Centeno sets up way out there, and the fastball up and away. Even though it's lefty-lefty, they're still shifted on the infield here in a pull position. Drew makes an offer, takes it. 2-2.
Coming around the analytics, but you know the shift's a part of that. I'd still like to know the psychological effect if you can measure it on a pitcher that makes a perfect pitch and gives up a 16 hopper right where the shortstop has been standing for 140 years, but he's not there.
Or in this case, the third baseman. Nobody there. He's got Drew out ahead of the breaking ball. And the Nats will strand a runner. They've left 4, but have a run on a first inning. Bryce Harper double. We're just floating along here on opening day of the Palm Beaches. Beautiful day. Sun kind of ducking in and out behind the clouds here in South Florida. Oliver Perez, very busy for the Nats last year. 64 ball games, 40 innings in mostly situational appearances, 38 hits. And one of 3 lefties that we might see today out of the bullpen. Eddie Romero, a new addition, is one of those, and also Nick Lee. So here's Oliver, one of the busiest guys in baseball whenever he's with one team for an entire season.
The 2-pitch guy, 5 windup guy. Fastball 92, slider 79 in 2016.
Alex Bregman, Jose Altuve, and then Carlos Correa. Now, we were doing an interview back in the 2nd inning while their DH was batting, and if you notice, that was Carlos Beltran, new addition to the Houston Ball Club, coming back home. Out to short, Trey Turner to his left for the 2nd time today. A little easier than that first play when he had to go way up the middle. And a quick out for Oliver Perez here, 4th inning.
There's a couple ways to play shortstop. Nats fans got used to Ian Desmond. He had a very strong arm. Then they got really used to Danny Espinosa, who was a lockdown shortstop with a cannon. He would shuffle, and show off the hose. Trey Turner's more of a guy that catches the ball and gets rid of it with not a whole lot on it, but the quicker you get rid of the baseball, and the better chance you have of getting the runner at first. So if you have that plus arm, you can take your time. If you don't, you have to get rid of it quick. That was a perfect example.
Here's Jose Altuve. Bounce out to the 3rd baseman, Drew, first time.
I mean, we've been spoiled with the past 2 shortstops we've seen on a daily basis. 2 of the better arms at that position in the league. Trey Turner has a good arm, but not a great arm like the last 2 guys I was talking about.
take his range against anybody's, right?
Yes.
1-0 pitch. The other thing I'm going to keep an eye on this year, up until the time we go to downtown Denver, is what kind of numbers Ian Desmond puts up at Coors Field this year. That could be interesting.
Well, if they didn't put up that wall in right center field, he had 100 home runs. That's where he hits them low and hard to right center field.
Altuve reaching for that one.
I don't know how I feel about him as a first baseman, though. Not because he can't play it or won't be willing to play it. It just seems like a waste of a pretty good athlete on the defensive side. And good luck with the throwovers at Sunset, Ian.
Oh.
Probably hadn't even thought about that yet.
Every first baseman in baseball would love there to be a throw-over limit in the first 3 innings of any game at Coors Field, with the sun shining right in from the left field corner. Altuve 1 for 3 this spring. Just 26 years of age. He'll have a birthday early May. 30 steals to go with the 24 home runs last year. That curveball comes roundhouse to get back into the strike zone. 3-2.
There's a slider, starts way off the plate. Jose Altuve gave up on it, came back for a strike. Good pitch.
Correa on deck with 1 out. Goes out there again, same result, and Altuve nods in the affirmative to John Lipka, the home plate umpire. 2 outs.
Gave up on strike 2, gave up on strike 3, and this is a guy that loves to swing. That one didn't look like it had as much break on it as strike 2, but he'll take it.
Carlos Correa. Yeah, Oliver finished the season well. Very stingy. So Correa and Altuve drove in 192 runs last year. They hit 44 home runs between them.
Remember a few years ago back in Vieira, what, 3, 4 maybe? When they called him over for the big league game and he was 18 years old, and everybody raving about our first round pick. Watch him play, watch his presence on the field. And he made a play going up the middle. He spun at second base and threw a cannon to first, and we were sold then. And now he's a guy that I feel like is going to be in the mix for, you know, all-star appearances on a yearly basis and possibly an MVP or 2. He's that good.
Yeah. He's still only 22. Won't have a birthday till late September. 2-0 pitch. And by the way, these two also stole 43 bases between them last year.
Well, they got a good lineup, and their ballpark's conducive to hitting. They got the fence now in center field. They took down the whole Hill flagpole deal, which is
Hill, huh?
silly. Yeah, right at the base of the hill is where they put the center field fence.
Astros finished 3rd last year, 11 games behind their in-state rivals, the Rangers. Oliver using that outside corner again. It's funny, Mike Rizzo, you saw A.J. Hinch there. Mike told us that you wouldn't even know if you were around here that there were 2 clubs here. They never see each other. Only place he's seen A.J. Hinch was driving north on I-95 the other day.
This place is so big it needs 2 different area codes for the third base side and the first base side.
And that'll be a 2-out walk as Correa works the count, gets support for Carlos Beltran. So with more on this amazing place we get to call home now, here's Dan.
Bob, a lot of benefits to this new facility. Obviously, the fields themselves, not just the ballpark here, but the practice fields. Dusty Baker commenting today that because there's so many fields and they're so close together, it's easy for the evaluators to get out and see a lot of players in a short amount of time. He said guys are excited to be here. They're early to get here. They're late to leave. That's obviously meaning they can get a lot of work in. But in terms of travel as well, which is huge in spring training, there are now 4 teams within 45 minutes of us here in West Palm that the Nats could play. They could obviously play the Astros, the Mets in Port St. Lucie, and the Cardinals and Marlins in Jupiter. So a lot fewer long trips for the Nats this spring. Only 6 of them, guys, all spring, longer than 15 minutes. A lot shorter bus travel this spring.
Yeah, don't have to use all those roads anymore. A lot of them are pretty close. Astros from Kissimmee. They were really the closest team to the Nats in Vieira. And then the Braves, it's been announced now, will be leaving Disney 2 years from now. And they'll be down in the Sarasota area on the West Coast.
It's also an advantage if you're a minor league player in the system because it's all connected. It's all right here. So if you're Mike Rizzo and you want to go take a peek at one of your prospects, it's not like you have to drive down the street like in Vieira or with a lot of teams, just on a different place, a different facility.
Well hit. Is it coming back? Out of here. Carlos Beltran. 22 homers, 64 RBIs for the Yankees last year in his final year in New York. Then he had 7 more with Texas. And he has put Houston on top here in his second at bat of the spring.
We usually hear that big crack, partner. I'll lay out for you for your home run call, but that was off the end of the bat. Did you see the replay? We've been watching the ball fly out to left field here all day. Didn't have the right sound, but the elements gave it a little bit of a push.
Yeah.
And just like that, it's 2-1 Astros.
Yeah, you could watch 1 minute of batting practice and know that's where the jet stream's going today. Teoscar Hernandez, the right fielder. 230, 41 games for Houston last year. 26 years of age. Hits one to center that's got some carry to it. Adam Eaton got turned around a time or two, but never really lost sight of it. And he makes that play. A walk and a blast. After 3.5, Houston failed this morning. Great matchups, hottest giveaways of the season. World champion Cubs will be coming to Nationals Park. Never been able to say that before. The pursuit starts now. Nationals.com/tickets. And get your regular season tickets now, and single game tickets are now on sale. Up the berm. We saw Ken Giles break in a few years ago with the Reds, pardon me, the Phillies. A hard throwing right-hander. Now he's with Houston. He will take over here, 26 years of age. Giles last year, 69 ball games, 15 saves, but a 4.11 ERA.
His fastball last year averaged 97.2 miles an hour. 2-pitch guy. His slider to complement it at 86.
Derek Norris. Little chopper in front of the plate, thrown out on first time up.
Those are good seats. Are those massage chairs? You had to put a quarter in those?
How about that? Top of the berm.
Those look like first come, first serve. Can we do a game out there? I'm in.
That ball is roasted to left. See you later. Concourse for Derek Norris. Tie game. Now that sounded like a home run.
Different sound. Well, that's what Derek Norris does. We've seen him do that as an Oakland Athletic. We've seen him do it as a San Diego Padre. Just a short, compact swing. Stays on that ball. Got himself into an advantageous count. And that's out regardless if the wind is blowing out to left. Just a center cut fastball, and no matter what time of year, major league hitters don't miss those.
14 home runs each of the last 2 years with San Diego. Eaton bunting left side, and it's close. He's safe. You got to be fast to beat out a bunt picked up on one hop by a charging third baseman.
Was it last year we did a game against the White Sox? Adam Eaton had 2 base hit bunts in the same game, and usually when you get one as a speed guy, they're going to take it away from you next time. But this is what he brings to the table. This is why you're going to fall in love with the Nats' new center fielder. He finds a way to beat you. These are the little things beyond the stats with Adam Eaton. You saw the Astros in the kind of modified shift where Alex Bregman was playing over toward the shortstop area. Adam Eden looked up and he said, okay, I'm not going to hit a home run today because I tried that last time in the win. Let me try a bunt single. Nicely done.
Yeah, only 12 hitters in baseball, more hits combined the last 2 years. Here's Clint Robinson.
You had your chance.
Somebody in the dugout say you had your chance, meaning you had your chance to get him out while he was at the plate.
Adam Eaton last year, 14 steals in 19 attempts, 18 the year before that with Chicago. Off speed, Clint over the top of it. .54 career stolen bases.
Well, that's a rhythm just like hitting that you have to get into as a base stealer in spring training. Work on your jumps. Maybe a little later in camp. We'll see if he decides to go here. Looks like he's trying to.
0-2. Robinson, base hit. Flare to left first time. Target in, they go down and in to get the foul tip and the strikeout.
Giles is the Astros closer, but A.J. Hinch is from the school that, you know, he'll use his closer in high leverage situations, so he wouldn't be afraid to go to Giles and say the 7th or the 8th inning even in a given game. If it feels like 3, 4, 5's coming up, it's a close ball game. Probably would never use him in the 4th. A lot of time managers in spring training like closers to get their work in, go run afterwards, and face major league hitters more importantly. You come in the 9th as a closer in spring training, you're facing AA guys.
Adam Lynn goes to the right side, and then Altuve trying to make a quick flip over to Correa, boots it. And that error will put runners at first and second, 1 out.
Like he might have been a little bit of a hurry right there. Still getting his rhythm on defense. Jose Altuve, known more for his offense, but he can make plays at second base, the highlight plays for sure. But the Astros defense last year wasn't what they wanted it to be. They want to improve big time moving forward.
Yeah, they play in a ballpark where you will pay for giving extra outs. No doubt about that. Trey Turner, third at bat of the day, has gone the opposite field way twice, lining out both times to right. With Altuve having to hold Eaton, there's a lot of room for a ground ball on the right side. He's going to gash one to center. Jake Marisnick barely had to move to make the catch. 2 outs. Murphy again. Trey's had 3 good at-bats today, nothing to show.
Saving him for the season.
Yeah, why not? Murphy a double and a ground ball. Grounder was against a lefty. The double opposite field against Mike Fiers. To the gap in left center. First time up, Bryce Harper then drove him in with a double.
Yeah, guys, Murph usually feasts off of the harder the better. You throw 110, good. He loves that. So he just shortens up his swing, lets the barrel do the work. See if Giles challenges him with a fastball. He knows it too.
So no lower than 5th in any of those categories. And of course, that bottom column and his hits, 184, hurt by the fact that he was hurt the last couple of weeks going into the playoffs. Yeah, missed some time and still first in the league in doubles. 47. Struck out 57 times all year.
With the highest batting average without winning a batting title since John Olerud hit .353 in 1998. Somebody else from the Rockies beat John Olerud, Larry Walker.
Yeah, it takes a Colorado guy, doesn't it?
Still don't like the way DJ LeMahieu backed into that thing last year. I like him as a player. I just don't like how he did that.
Agreed.
I like him a lot as a player.
Saw Coda Glover. Now Murphy hoping the wind will push this thing, but it's going to come spinning back and be playable for Alex Bregman. So the game is tied on a monster home run by Derek Norris. This one heading for the Astros office building out there. And after 4, it's a 2-2 game.
First came up to the big leagues last year. He had a lot of success, kind of faded down the stretch. Well, there's a reason for that. He ended up having a torn labrum in his left hip that he tried to pitch through, said it was incredibly painful. After the regular season was over, the Nationals sent Glover home, got some PT on both his left and his right hip. He said he wanted to strengthen that right hip as well. 3 times a week for almost 3 months. Says he feels fantastic right now and is ready to get out there this spring and really show the Nationals what he can do consistently.
Top of the 5th, catcher Juan Centeno for the Astros. Got some defensive changes we'll bring you up to date with shortly.
And Glover last year's fastball averaged almost 97 miles an hour.
And a ball hit out to that new outfielder. Brian Goodwin cruising to that, replacing Adam Lind down in left. And Brian Goodwin came on this week or 2 in the big leagues, kind of getting the feel for things, and then he was very productive.
It's a big league beard.
There he is, Jose Lobaton. So there's Bautista, and then number 19 is Brandon Snyder, a resident of Gainesville, Virginia. In there for a strike. 2, Jake Marisnick, the center fielder. Nice action down and in.
Here, you do the replay. I'm doing my scorecard. Got it?
Late run, spin rate, outstanding on that fastball.
Nice.
You know, I did some homework this year, too.
Good job.
Coda Glover, see ya. 2 down.
A pretty good slider here by Coda Glover. Watch the late break. Fastball, right? Nope. Watch the subtle movement at the very end that locks up Jake Marisnick for strike 3. Good pitch. Mike Maddox digging it.
Andrew Applin, the left fielder.
I mean, when you talk about the closer situation for the Nationals, it's one of those things where this guy you're looking at right now might develop into that very role as the season progresses. You never know how it works out. Sean Kelly might grab it by the horns. Blake Trinan, who's an adequate candidate for sure. But when you think about closers and their stuff, their mound presence, and what they bring to the table, all those guys fit the role. But the guy you're looking at, Coda Glover, definitely looks the part, right?
Absolutely. One of my great memories of Nats Fest this year was we did a session for the kids where they got to interview Coda Glover and Sammy Solis, and I got the 2 of them to talking about each other, and it kind of fell apart from there. But you know, a real good glimpse into the life of the guys out in the bullpen and how you have to keep yourself engaged out there. You have to keep yourself sane when you're not working a lot at various times. And these guys are forging some strong relationships out there. And as you heard Dan interview Sean Kelly earlier, they're going to look to Sean now to lead the way. I mean, Sean Kelly had 7 saves last year. That's the most of any returning reliever for the Washington Nationals.
I remember Coda Glover was number 32 last year. And when Matt Wieters signed with the Nats, he said, you can have my number. So he gave Matt Wieters 32, and he took number 30.
Cool.
That is cool.
This ball hit well to left. Anything's going to go a ways today. Good win. About 2 back steps in front of the fence. Makes the grab and a scoreless top of the 5th for Coda Glover. Bryce Harper's been perfect. Homer, double. Rather a double and a walk. 5 and 9 and turn that thing around, and all will be well. Looks like Anthony Rendon will DH for Jason Worth in a moment after Bryce. But that tells you something about what Mike Rizzo and the organization have done here, FP, from a scouting and development standpoint, but also from making some key deals for major leaguers out there as well.
Yeah, I think everybody in the organization, players, front office, fans, broadcasters, all included, are ready to take the next step in October. But first, like we said in the open, you got to get there.
Long, long time from now. Right-hander Will Harris.
I mean, it's their 13th year and they haven't won a World Series yet.
Sounds like a lucky number to me.
Nats fans have had to wait 13 whole years for a World Series championship. Dusty knows all about how hard it is. That's all you have to do is ask the 2 teams that played last October. 108 years between the Cubs World Series championship.
What did Rob Manfred say? 68 for the Indians. And they were so close against the Marlins back in '97. And another thing that we'll see this year, Screech doing PR work for the ball club. Good to see him down here.
Screech eating kids.
He was hand-to-hand combat in a friendly way with Orbit, the Astros mascot, before the game.
Plucked his eyes out.
Cubs played an extra month of baseball last year, FP. I know the Giants know this drill, and a lot of people have talked about it. That's a pretty good job of getting inside on a great left-handed batter by Will Harris, 1 out.
Well, that's a good point you make. You know, they played an extra month of baseball, and not only that, they all went on the circuit after that. Like you would imagine, right? You worked 108 years to win a World Series. Those players went from being a laughingstock 3 or 4 years ago to the best team in baseball. And Bryce said as much about last offseason after he won the MVP. He learned to say no this offseason, where days that he used to work out, he would go do something fun for a sponsor or go to a Super Bowl. Then you have a day of travel where you miss a workout, the event itself, and a day of travel back. And you talk about the Cubs and all they went through this offseason. I'm sure they're going to stay focused. Joe Madden won't let them do anything but you know, you have to enjoy that thing because they don't come around very often. And in enjoying that thing, maybe you get a little distracted and you don't work, maybe not as hard, but as much as you would because of all the opportunities to do once-in-a-lifetime things. And I think Bryce learned that lesson once he won MVP, that, hey, that sounds really cool, but I'd rather do my 500-pound squats instead so that I have a good season.
Right. Yeah, that boils it down to a personal player standpoint. Giants, those 3 World Series, 10, 12, 14. Couldn't get it done any of the ensuing years. Royals go 2 years in a row. They ran out of gas last year. It's a real thing.
And I'll tell you what, no fault to the players. If I'm a Cub and I win a World Series, honestly don't have the same intensity or focus the next year. I don't see how they could. I've never been in those shoes, so I don't know. Everybody says you always want to win another one. But I'm partying like a rock star for 4 months, baby. I mean, you can come find me wherever I'm at. I'm on an island somewhere by the end of the offseason, and I'm not really caring much about the next year, especially if I have a deal, a multi-year deal.
1-2 to Anthony Rendon. Got a good look IDing that breaking ball. Coming off a 270 year last year when his on-base percentage was just under 350.
Don't usually see A-list celebrities come off the bench in spring training games. Anthony Rendon pinch hitting for Jason Worth.
Well, he's from Houston, so, you know, wanted to celebrate the opening of the ballpark with his boyhood team. There's Joe Nathan. Now that will be an interesting right-hander to watch this spring.
1974 is the year he was born. That's why he took number 74.
Okay.
I think it's my only remaining teammate still playing.
Rendon, it's a good piece of that one to right, out to Hernandez. 2 down. Potomac Nationals opening day, April the 13th. It's not a Friday, is it? Full and half season ticket plans, plus the 15 days of summer and bobblehead mini plans are on sale now. Call 703-590-2311 or PotomacNationals.com to purchase tickets.
There's a Dan Coco bobblehead this year.
Yeah. I heard they're already sold out for the season because of that.
They are. It's Jason Worth, Dan Coco. I think you know the rest. Probably can't repeat it on the air. I thought it'd be cool if you pressed the bobblehead and it said what Jason Worth said in the post-game interview live on Masson. But as we have a meeting at the mound to see if everybody's okay.
Yeah, it's a nice job. For not going there, you kind of stopped from going there.
I think I went there. I want that bobblehead.
Well, trainer out, and Will Harris is done. Retires both of his batters. So our first during the inning pitching change coming here at the ballpark of the Palm Beaches in West Palm Beach. 2-2. And I had a chance to run into Max's dad, Brad, a couple of times during the playoffs. And I told him, and there's Albert Minnis. He was one of the minor leaguers who was added to the roster today. So he comes in with all the time he needs to get warm after Will Harris had to leave. But I told Brad that his son was the most aggressive pitcher I'd ever seen since Bob Gibson. And Brad said, that's interesting you say that, because he said when I was growing up, he was my favorite baseball player, not just pitcher, but favorite baseball player. And I don't know how much of that Dad was able to pass on to Max, but there are a lot of parallels there because FP, there aren't every guy out there who never takes a pitch off, never takes a moment off when it's his day to pitch. And Max, pardon the slight pun here, he does maximize every day that's his day and doesn't leave anything out there.
No, he's fun to watch. I mean, he's so intense when he starts carrying the luggage after a strikeout, stalking his prey, bringing the briefcases, whatever, carrying the groceries upstairs, whatever he does with his body language when he's locked in. And I think even, well, maybe not as exciting, but more admirable as a former athlete is on the days that he doesn't have his ace stuff, how he competes. Yeah. And he'll go out there with maybe not a slider on a given day or a rolling curveball, his changeups. We've seen him beat teams with just a fastball. There's not too many guys that can do that at the major league level, and that speaks to more of the person than the stuff.
25-year-old rookie lefty from Liberty, Missouri, Albert Minnis. 4 teams in 2 organizations last year: Fresno, Corpus Christi, Lancaster, Tri-City. And Steven Drew's had a couple of ABs today, a couple of times striking out, swinging. And again, despite a lefty-lefty matchup, right side shift on here. Over but low, and it's 2-1. One's got some top spin on it, rolled over to the right side for Altuve, and that's it for the Nats. Bottom of the 5th.
Some tremendous facial hair on this team this year. Jason Worth, Derek Norris, Ryan Goodwin in left right now, sporting a big league beard.
That's Neftali Soto.
No beard.
Takes over third base for Drew. Wilmer Defoe is at short for Trey Turner. And then Michael A. Taylor, who commutes 45 minutes here and back every day in right field. Here's Joe Nathan. What made Joe Nathan as good as he was as a closer for an extended time?
Well, he just pounds the strike zone. It's his makeup, his durability, and coming back from a lot of injuries, and I think more than anything his command. He was a guy that at the peak of his career could just put the ball wherever he wanted it. So last year his fastball averaged 91. In the beginning of his career as a closer with the Twins, it was 95, and back in the day with the Giants, he was a starting pitcher. So 377 career saves, 8th most all time for Joe Nathan.
Marwin Gonzalez, couple of strikeouts today. 0-1 pitch, top of the 6th, showed bunt, took the fastball upstairs.
So his rookie year, he got called up with the Giants, and he was a teammate of mine, a great rookie. We go on the road and go out and have some cold ones after the game, and we tell him what to do, and he'd do it. He was just happy to be part of the guys. But Ron Perinoski was Dusty Baker's pitching coach in 1999, and one of the first weeks he was called up as a pitcher, he's in the bullpen, and Perinoski turns to whomever to get on the phone. He said, "Get Joe Namath up." And from that day, he was Broadway Joe. I mean, he's gone on to do bigger and better things, and everybody knows his name, but the rest of that season, he was Broadway Joe.
That's good. Well, one of those times they got him up, he got a save. One save in his rookie year, way back in '99.
Hey, the fastball's coming out of his hand, and who knows? Stranger things have happened. 42 years old, and he's got a shot.
Pretty good action right there. No swing, says C.B. Buckner down at third.
That's a full swing. C.B. Buckner 0 for 1 on the 2017 season.
Yeah.
If I'm the commissioner, I'm worried at pace of play. I'm telling all my umpires on the first and third baseline, if the batter blinks on a 2-strike count, say he went. Now, as a hitter, I wouldn't like that, but if I want to speed up the games, that's one way.
That was Nathan's off-speed pitch at 82. Count goes full. Six-time All-Star Joe Nathan. Fastball riding high, and a good job by Marwin Gonzalez of taking it the other way. More on Joe Nathan. Here's Dan.
Bob, I asked Dusty Baker, who managed Joe Nathan very early in his career, what his thoughts are on the veteran right-hander so far this spring. And he said he's an intriguing option. The Nats are going to have to wait and see how Nathan's stuff plays against hitters. But he said just the way that Nathan takes care of his body. Dusty said there are some 25-year-olds who maybe look like they're 40. He said Nathan looks like he's 25, other than maybe a couple gray hairs that he's got going for him. He says he takes real good care of his body. He's in great shape. So the Nationals are going to monitor Joe Nathan this spring, see if he can maybe help them at the back of their bullpen. And FP, it's funny you mentioned that Broadway Joe story. Dusty accidentally called Joe Nathan Joe Namath during his press conference earlier today with reporters.
Probably from that one day. Doesn't Dusty know Joe Namath?
Dusty knows everybody.
I think they're tight.
Tony Kemp running for Marwin Gonzalez. So that's the lead run aboard here in the top of the 6th. Alex Bregman, third at bat of the day. Jose Altuve on deck. Anytime you have a career of 2.87, in your first year of the big leagues was 1999, that is so impressive. FP talked about the number of saves. Right now leaving the ball up a little bit. Counts 1-1.
Jose Altuve doing some homework in the on-deck circle from, I think it's Marwin Gonzalez telling him what he saw just now. Like he's got a fastball and quizzing him. There's a move. What else does he have? What good hitters do. They'll wear you out, too. The better the hitter, the more they'll wear you out.
Well, conversation in February could mean an interleague base hit in July, you know? Runner goes, had a good jump, and the ball's tucked in right behind him. And the Astros perfectly executed. First and third, nobody out. Good swing by Alex Bregman. Altuve now in a dangerous spot.
Hey, see a little cut on that fastball, kind of running away. Jose Lobaton ready to throw, but Dan Murphy vacating the premises to cover second base, allows the knock through the hole. First and third, nobody out. And here come the caddies. Starters coming out, bench guys coming in.
Ground ball to third, a taken third strike when Oliver Perez threw him a great pitch back in the fourth inning. Target off the plate in, and Altuve leans back.
I always found it funny when the great hitters came over and asked you what the guy had. It's almost like an A student cheating off your test. I'd say, you're asking me, I'm hitting 200. I don't know, some late movements. Just go up there and do what you always do, hit a line drive. But the better the hitter, the more information they want to gather before they walk up against a guy they never faced before or maybe haven't faced in a few years.
One ball, one strike. Going to reset things for you here at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Beautiful batter's eye, beautiful ballpark. Everything's as it should be at the ballpark at the Palm Beaches in West Palm Beach, our new spring training home. 2-2 ball game. Bryce Harper has an RBI double today. Derek Norris is at a monstrous home run. Carlos Beltran, a 2-run shot for the Astros. Altuve looks at that one close, but a little bit inside. 3-1.
Careful right here. He's swinging hard.
Second baseman, small in stature, but he drove in 96 runs last year. Lobaton shifting away. Fastball out that way. Count goes full.
I just love a little guy that lets it rip like that. I could watch this guy play every day. 3-1 count for younger hitters. This is how you're supposed to swing. You work hard to get into that count, do some damage, or at least try.
Runner at first going. Altuve reaching to stay alive. We'll be back with you a week from today. Red Sox will be here. Yankees 5 days after that. Our Astros and then the Yankees come in. Mets, Taste of New York that week. See the Fish and the Red Sox again. That game on March 31st at Nationals Park.
Oh,
3-2. Ball 4. And Joe Nathan can't believe it. It's down to one knee staring in at John Libga, the home plate umpire. He was close on a lot of pitches there.
Well, maybe Jose Lobaton blocked him out. That pitch was close. Joe Nathan obviously didn't like the call. And when you're trying to make a ball club, you need every call you can get on the borderline pitch. He felt like he had Marwin Gonzalez struck out on a check swing. He hit a single. Then he thought Jose Altuve might have taken strike 3. And just like that, it's bases loaded, nobody out. A few breaks don't go your way. And now you got to use all that experience, try to harness those emotions and get yourself an out, but he's not happy.
And Carlos Correa now stands in the way. Big time opportunity for the Astros to break the game open. Strikeout, a walk, a run scored. That was ahead of the Beltran home run 2 innings ago. Enny Romero. Hot shot to short. Nats will take a couple of outs and concede a run to turn the 6-4-3 double play. Houston leads 3-2. Defoe to Murphy to Snyder.
Oh, got the ground ball he wanted. That ball had some hair on it, though. It took a tricky little hop. Nice play by Wilmer to feed it to Murph. See that last little hop, he looks it in his glove. You come into a spring training game late, that infield's been baking all day, so it's a nice, moist, watered down infield by about the 5th or 6th inning, playing like a parking lot. That was a nice play.
Well, we can tell by that batting stance, that's Evan Gattis for Carlos Beltran of the DH spot.
.32 home runs last year.
That can flat out hit, can he?
Well, he hit it far, that's for sure.
Two and 0. Third base is Tyler White, who replaced Bregman. Tony Kemp, who replaced Gonzalez, scored. Colin Moran, who replaced Altuve, forced at second. And that pitch makes it 3-0.
Well, if you're wondering why all the subs are in the game and Daniel Murphy's still in there, Dusty Baker trying to tune him up for the WBC. I think as in spring training, you have to build up your endurance. And no matter how hard you work out in the off season, simply standing at your position is something you have to build up to. You know, we used to joke that we need to go stand in the field for 4 hours to get in shape for spring training, but you know, your feet get tired, your concentration wavers out there, and all of that is part of the endurance that you build up to get ready for opening day. Just simply concentrating for 9 innings. So Dusty trying to get ready for Team USA and that WBC thing.
Gattis way ahead in the count, pumping, and now it's 3-2. Tanner Roark
pitching game 2 against the Dominican Republic, I believe.
And Nathan gets a fly ball to right for Michael A. Taylor.
Pretty good damage control by Joe Namath.
Absolutely. It was 3rd and long, and he almost got the first down, but he only. Del Gustave from Pimentel of the Dominican Republic. He's 24 years of age, 14 games at the big league level with a 3.52 ERA last year, 16 strikeouts in 15 innings. Well, Lobaton, if he pulls it, it's going to be into the wind here.
Dr. Jose today, I said, keep showing Instagram videos of your son playing Little League Baseball, because that's probably the favorite part of my off season is watching that. He showed him the other day that playing T-ball, just a little guy. and everybody in T-ball was on the right side of the infield in a shift, and he hit it over all their heads.
They're shifting in T-ball?
If you don't follow Jose Lobaton on Instagram, you got to right now, because his son is priceless. His family is priceless, but his son, hopefully we'll be watching him someday. I have a feeling we will.
They're shifting in T-ball?
No, it's just, you know, it's like soccer. They all follow the ball.
Okay, I got it. So the shift takes place after the ball's in
it's
play.
natural. They just all run for the ball.
Okay, well, that's been going on for a long time. Jose 0 for 4 during the spring, and the strikeout for the first out, bottom 6. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on MLB.TV Premium. It's back, and it's better than ever. Plus, up to 300 spring training games. Can't get enough of these, right? And the WBC blackout. Other restrictions do apply. So for details, visit MLB.TV. Follow your favorite players, your favorite countries during the WBC. It's fair ball down to the third base bag off the bat of Rafael Bautista. Very close. Looked like Andy Fletcher thought about that one for quite a while and then called him out.
Got a glimpse of Bautista the other day against the Mets at St. Lucie. I think I watched him score from first or go first to third, but he can get it. You saw right there, he made a routine play. Super close. Dusty talking today in batting practice how he'd like some more speed on his bench.
Big swing by Brandon Snyder, Virginia guy, out of Westfield High School in Chantilly, born in Centerville. With the Braves for 37 games last year, hit 4 homers, drove in 9 runs. He got 46 at bats, hit 239. Didn't play in the big leagues for 2 years, 14 and 15. Then back with Atlanta, Gwinnett, and the big club last year. That signed him to a free agent contract November 16th. Whoa! Looked like a slider that just stayed up there and got him in the upper back. Nowhere to go on that one. 2 down, runner aboard.
Get ready.
Let's listen to it. I don't know if he screamed out or that was a fan that screamed out, but either way, that didn't feel good. You come in late to a big spring training game, you just sometimes don't know.
Right.
You don't have comfortable ABs because there's a big difference and a big drop-off usually from Major League Command to minor league command, especially at this time of year.
That'll give Brian Goodwin a chance in the number 9 hole this inning. Earlier mentioned Brian's good finish to the 2016 season. He hit 280 in 119 games at Syracuse. Got called up early August when Ryan Zimmerman went back on the DL. And he hit 286 the rest of the way with 12 hits, 5 RBIs in 22 games.
Yeah, Brian was a guy that you watched the first couple of games. You went, oh, okay, you know, pretty good player. And then the more we watched him play, the more we liked. And by the end of the year, this guy's going to be on the playoff roster.
And he was.
He impressed the heck out of everybody in the organization.
Well, can't get to that breaking ball. That's it for the Nats. In the bottom of the 6th inning, they've stranded.
I'll be a son of a gun.
Cha-ching.
They don't even have hot dogs ready at the ballpark, but your scorecards, your scorebooks in the team store.
They've been down here for a month. We don't miss anything. Eddie Romero, 52 games for the Rays last year, 50 strikeouts in 46 innings.
A fastball 96 miles an hour from the left side. You saw the slider right there at 84. He'll cut the fastball too in the upper 80s. Opponents last year 244. Lefties 288 oddly, and look at this reverse splits, right? He's just 217.
That's interesting. Teoscar Hernandez, the hitter. Robbed of a hit by Trey Turner and Clint Robinson back in the second. Then a fly ball to center in the fourth. There's Manny Burris as Daniel Murphy, after being on his feet for a while, now gets the rest of the day off. Good to have Manny back in camp. Some time with the Phillies last year. On a pitch up, check swing. And a 1-2 pitch now. 98 on that one, sailing up and away.
So check this out. I was talking to Mark Lerner today. See these visors, if you will, over the third base side? They provide shade to fans all the way down to the dugout. If we get a shot of the fans, they're in the shade on the third baseline. That's by design. That's the way they design this ballpark, so that you don't roast in the sun down here in spring training. They provide some shade on the first base side, but they did a study of the sun and how it related to the ballpark. So if you come here and you want to be in the shade, you sit on the third base side. It's around 2:30 for a 1 o'clock game.
Yeah.
And you see how those visors right there at the top are providing shade for everybody that's sitting down the third baseline. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I think they thought of everything here. That ball hit well to right, and it's right at Michael A. Taylor. 1 out. The same architectural firm that built the Talking Stick complex in the eastern part of Phoenix, home of the Rockies and the Diamondbacks, built this ballpark. Astros told me that their AA ballpark in Corpus Christi was built by this company as well, and they are really, really good at building mid-sized ballparks now, and all the amenities. And that complex I talked about for the Rockies and the D-backs out in Phoenix is considered the nicest facility out there of all the 15 teams that are out there. Heard rave reviews about the complex the Dodgers and the White Sox share out there as well. But this is the state of the art for Florida now. We'll see what the Braves can do in 2 years to try to top this.
And one of the best parts about this is nothing you're looking at. If you go in the backfield, the fans, you can get right next to the players. So when they're taking infield or working out on the backfield, it's right here. You don't have to walk anywhere. It's a stone throw from behind the first base dugout. So you have so much accessibility to the players, more so than most camps, and that's by design as well.
Yeah. And for a lot of fans, that's what spring training is all about. So there we are on the left side there in the big ballpark, and look at all the other areas. Nationals to the south and the Astros to the northeast and the north, and just fantastic.
It's like the Magic Kingdom. You could just wander around for 3 straight days and not see everything.
Swing and a miss. Power heater at 97 for the second out.
Meanwhile, check this out.
Yeah, get some shade from that. I also thanked Mark Lerner for the nice large TV booth we enjoy here, and he goes, well, that wasn't there a week ago. He said that we have really put some finishing touches on this thing in a hurry, and we have a wonderful facility up here. We're elevated a lot more than we were in Vieira, above the top of the lower bowl here.
I mean, the flights aren't expensive. If you're in D.C. and you want to get out of the cold, I mean, it doesn't get any better than where we're at.
Yeah, we want to see you guys. I mean, I remarked about all the red, the caps and the jerseys on the concourse today an hour before the game. It was amazing to me.
And there's more than a Chick-fil-A here, too. There's plenty of places to go out and eat. We love Vieira, but this is... they did it right.
Well, and I was 20 minutes north yesterday watching the Nationals play up in Jupiter, and there's already a little envy going on up there as to what we have here. Their facility up there is 20 years old already. Mets even older than that, going back to the early 90s. up in Port St. Lucie. But it is great to have 5 teams within an hour of each other. And I think it's ideal when you share a complex with a team from the other league, too. Not playing somebody in your own division or somebody you're going to see a ton during the regular season. Well, we like what we just saw from Enny Romero. A line drive to right, 2 power swinging strikeouts. Time to stretch. It's a 3-2 ball game. Houston ahead here in Palm Beach.
Small heads.
We're going to the bottom of the 7th inning. Dayan Diaz for the Houston Astros.
I'm searching. Give me a second.
Well, 6 games with the Reds last year. 7 innings, 10 hits.
Already got it. Fastball 93, slider 86, occasional changeup at 86 as well. Pulse check. Nope, we got movement. He's all right.
Because if there's a loud crack of the bat, he better look up. Wilmer Defoe, first at bat today after taking over for Trey Turner. Wilmer's 1 for 4 in the spring with a base on balls.
Wilmer.
11 at bats for the Nats in 15 games last year. Got a couple of hits. Stole a base during the division series against the Dodgers. And that fastball is up and in, 1-1. Hit .259 at Harrisburg with 28 steals. And he was with the Nats a couple of times last year. Got called up late July when Stephen Drew got hurt. Takes that one outside. On the off speed, 2-1. Emmanuel Burris is next. Over into the shade on that third base side up to the concourse.
I think Wilmer, with some more major league experience this year, is going to learn how to play with his hair on fire, but the game may be moving a little bit slower for him. At times last year, as a young player, you're trying to learn how to control all that at once. I'm going to play hard, I'm going to play with my hair on fire, but also play under control. And I think that's the next step for anybody with as much talent as Wilmer has, is to be able to harness that on a daily basis, provide the energy that Dusty Baker's looking for, maybe on a Sunday day game after a Saturday night game, but also do it in a way that's a little more calm, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does.
Polished, maybe the word I'm looking for, but we love watching him go.
2-2 goes the other way, and 3 or 4 feet outside the bag and right past Bob Henley. Fantastic coaching staff intact from last year.
Zombie third base coach Bob Henley, there he is.
Yeah, he was loaded up with the 50 sunblock early this morning.
The opposite of Just for Men in his beard. There's Davey Lopes.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Wilmer, a .280 hitter in 7 minor league seasons, averaging just under 20 steals a year. Still just 24 years of age for another month or so. And he goes down, flexes the knees, and gets a piece of that to stay alive. Slapping it to the right side. First out, bottom 7. That was Colin Moran handling that. Manny's had a couple of hits already, 2 for 4 with a double. 39 games, 45 at bats for the Phillies last year. Had a 50-game time in AAA Lehigh Valley for the Phils. Hit 279 there. So Daniel Murphy's day was a 1 for 3 day with an opposite field double and a run scored on Bryce Harper's double back in the first inning. 1-1 pitch to Manny. It's outside.
Be ready, come on.
You're Dusty in the background saying, be ready, come on. Say, well, you hear Dusty when you're in the box, and he fires you up. Even when there's 40,000 people, you can hear him. And it's always positive encouragement, keeping you focused.
Right off the end of the bat, left field line, and the ball carrying, foul ground, 2 down. There's Derek Fisher on the catch there. And Michael A. Taylor. Two hopper and a big hop for the shortstop. That's it for the Nats. They go quickly in the bottom of the 7th inning. On to the 8th. Kyle McGowan takes over for the Nats here. The Nationals got him in the trade for Danny Espinosa. He was in the top 20 among Anaheim prospects. 5th round pick out of Savannah State about 3.5 years ago. And that is John Kemmer, the right fielder. A pitch fading away from him on a play to the left side.
We're right on top of home plate from our vantage point, but that screen has saved us a few times already today.
Yeah, very high screen here.
Oh, there it is. We're about right in the middle of that thing.
Well, I saw you go for a ball early in the ball game today that didn't make it to us because the screen picked it off. We were on the constant lookout in Vieira, very close. Brandon Snyder takes care of that one for the first out in the 8th inning. Second baseman Tony Kemp out of Franklin, Tennessee. 59 games for the Astros last year, hit 217. 306 though at AAA Fresno. Pretty good job of jamming the left-handed batter. Nationals will be in Lakeland tomorrow with Joe Ross against former Met Mike Pelfrey. And right back here in this ballpark, except on Thursday, they'll be the visiting team. Kind of cool. Play a road game. Don't have to go anywhere.
It's nice. Just make sure you wear the right uni.
That's right.
It's a good opportunity for young guys to show the big league skipper, the staff, what they're made of, what they got.
Yep. And Kemp's going to drop that one down the right field line. That's only the 5th hit all day for the Astros. Nationals, by the way, do have 7 hits on the day, but nothing since the 4th inning.
I thought Jeremy Guthrie did a nice job. And the Astros put the ball in play. Some pretty good plays behind them. Good offense early on in this one. Not thinking this is, early in spring training, the way they're swinging it, the way they're playing.
This is Tyler White, who's been in to play third base for an inning or so. Batting in the number 2 hole after replacing Alex Bregman. And strike 1 to the outer half.
Got a baseball.
Astros cap, Nationals shirt.
Amusing himself on the berm. I imagine there's going to be some games here where you can't even see the grass out there.
High fly ball, right side. Drifting back into fair territory, and no problem for Brandon Snyder. 2 outs now here in the 8th. Next up will be Colin Moran.
The shortstop, number 19, Colin Moran.
Isn't that looking like a driving range car out in right field? You want to go to those driving
with all the
ranges
screens,
yes. Some ADD moment of the broadcast today. But, I mean, you could put the tees right up there on the walkway and right and just start whacking them out there.
Well, this land had been used in part as pretty much a landfill. Hurricane debris would end up here.
Really?
There was a lot of site cleanup they had to do.
No burial grounds?
Not sure how many couches and divans are under the ballpark at the moment, but I mean that's what this site was used. It was just kind of sitting here, and unbelievable job. And as Mark Lerner told me this morning, basically a 20-month project that was done in 15 months. They had a pretty decent winter down here, no serious storms or none of those 1 or 2 weeks when you just couldn't do anything. That helped them get ready.
Can't imagine how stressful it was for everybody, biting their nails.
Yeah. There are some Nationals employees that are going to have their best night of sleep tonight than they've had in weeks.
Yeah, the stress level was on high. You hear all the stories, but they lived it on a daily basis. We just show up, things done, ball game on TV.
Yeah.
Everybody at home checking it out, how great it is. But when you're behind the scenes and you know all that went into it, and how many things went right, how many things went wrong to get to this day, they must be very proud. I would be.
Yeah. I was going down the stairs toward the concourse today and heard a shout of 2 minutes till the gates open. Let's get those ladders stored away. Ladders, brooms, you name it. And I mean, they worked all night, many nights.
I was in the media dining today, and they had a great lunch for us. It was fantastic. And you sit down at the table, and the salt and pepper shakers are on the table, and they still have the adhesive on the top that I had to peel back so that you could use them. Same with the ketchup. I mean, that's how new this place is.
I know. I think we can live with that, right?
I love it.
As long as the cap didn't come off on the ketchup and the whole thing came out. Well, Looks like game one here coming off without a hitch. Little snap throw down to first, and Tony Kemp back in plenty of time.
Yeah, and unlike Vieira, there's so much other things to do here besides baseball. So if you come down for, you know, a weekend or maybe an extended weekend, you have the beach, you have Palm Beach.
Yeah, make your plans, make them early. West Palm, not the number of flights in and out that Orlando, of course, would have, being the huge hub it is. That's a walk, and the ball gets through. Jose Lobaton and the Astros now will have 2 on, 2 out here in the 8th.
And this used to be a huge spring training downtown. Dusty Baker paid for the Braves back in the day. But when Atlanta was in their heyday in the 90s and they shared the facility with the Montreal Expos, all of Atlanta would come down here for spring training. So you'd get Atlanta plus spring break plus people that already lived here, and it was quite a scene. A lot of fun. There's a lot of distractions in this town that maybe weren't in Vieira. So as a ball player getting ready for the season, you have to figure out, I guess, pick your spots is the best way to put it.
Randy Knorr.
No way.
He's the best.
It's a great baseball man. It's good to see him. Just makes me feel good anytime you see Randy Knorr. One of the most positive guys you'll ever be around. A guy that loved every minute of it. Never took a day for granted. It's good to see him still with the organization, but it's better to see him in a dugout. That's where he belongs.
Yeah. Senior advisor to Mike Rizzo in player development, Randy Knorr. This ball popped up to the left side. Soto, no problem. Another scoreless inning for the Nats staff. And pitched for Corpus Christi, a double-A, 4-1 there, and triple-A Fresno for the Astros last year, 1-2 with 4 starts there. Anthony Rendon, another AB after replacing Worth as the DH. And the pop-up caught in short right field by Colin Moran for the first out.
There goes a perfect scorecard.
I have way too much whiteout for the first game of the season for
Soto lead that inning off.
Neftali Soto signed by the Nats as a free agent last year. After some time with the Cincinnati organization, he was a 3rd rounder with the Reds back in 07. Hit 276 at Harrisburg last year and a solid 270 at AAA Syracuse. So he hit a combined 10 homers, 62 RBIs.
I think that's a Chihuahua. Smaller breed, very friendly.
And this ball out toward the gap in left center, carrying, and it's off the glove of Fisher, the left fielder. Derek Fisher couldn't quite squeeze it, and Soto has a double here in the bottom of the 8th to get the tying run on base.
Neftali Soto opening some eyes here in camp. He hit a home run against the Mets in St. Lucie the other day, halfway up the batting eye in center field, and he stays on this off-speed pitch nicely, drives it just over the head of Fisher in left center field for a 1-out double. Nice swing.
Yeah, so he's 2 for 5 with a couple of extra base hits. Jose Lobaton struck out swinging first time up after Derek Norris started the game and homered. And the fastball rides inside. Worthy to note that Jose last year, his last 16 starts after Wilson Ramos got hurt, hit .311. Guys love throwing to him, so his value goes far beyond what he does in the batter's box. 7 years in the big leagues now with the Padres, Rays, and Nats. Of course, that San Diego thing, he was only on the roster for 2 days back in 06. Most of his career now with Tampa Bay, and coming up his 4th year with Washington.
Who you keeping as a catcher if you're Dusty Baker and Mike Rizzo? There's a log jam. We saw Derek Norris go deep today. Matt Wieters, you figure, is going to be the starter. Jose Lobaton, but a valuable part of this organization. Severino last year started game 1 of the NLDS. Remember that with Max Scherzer. So who do you keep? Who stays? Who goes? I know the guys like throwing to Jose Lobaton. Matt Wieters is a take charge kind of guy, everything you hear. Derek Norris does a nice job calling a game back there. He's got occasional pop. And Pedro Severino might be the guy of the future, but do you want a young guy sitting around not playing?
That ball hit hard, and it'll tie the game. Lobaton pulls a single to right. Soto scores easily, and it's 3-3 in the bottom of the 8th. How about that sound?
So you heard Dusty Baker, maybe it did, and he said, RBI guy, come on, drive him in. A pitch before, and Jose Lobaton listens to his skipper. Nice swing, ball hit hard. Soto scores, and we got ourselves a tie ball game. Dusty could carry 3 catchers if he decides. Teams have done that in the National League before. It allows you to pinch run late in games, pinch hit, whatever you want to do, double switch with your catcher. You don't have to worry about the second catcher getting hurt and then an emergency catcher, but that takes maybe one bench guy away. So there's a lot of ways they can play it. They could take Norris, Lobaton, and Wieters, but you're hearing rumors or reading about maybe Norris being traded. I don't know.
Two balls, no strikes to Batista. Ground ball the third, first time up, 23 years of age, signed with the Nats at the age of 19. 282 in 136 games with 56 steals at Harrisburg last year.
I think ideally, Carp, with your everyday catcher, you want the total package. You want a guy that puts down the right fingers, commands the baseball game from the squat behind the plate, and also gives you some offense too. Now, for your backup guy that's going to play a Sunday day game after a Saturday night game, or maybe just catch Gio Gonzalez, I want defense out of that guy. I want a guy that's going to command the game from behind the plate, put down the right fingers, throw guys out, and if he gets a hit, it's a bonus.
Right.
I don't need offense from my backup guy. I want a backup guy that's lights out defensively. I want a guy that my pitcher on that given day on the Sunday day game after the Saturday night game feels super comfortable throwing to. Not like, oh, it's my day and I have to throw to him. And that happens sometimes with backup guys. So, you know, ideally Matt Wieters is 100%. He's healthy. He hits his home runs, does his thing, throws guys out, commands the game. And then you have to decide, if you're Dusty Baker and Mike Rizzo, who you want as the number 2 guy.
Right.
And I think, in my opinion, Jose Lobaton's a perfect guy. But we all know I'm the captain of Jose's fan club. So that opinion probably doesn't matter a whole lot. I love the guy. I love what he brings to the game. And I think he's super valuable to any ball club. And he's a winner, more importantly.
2-2 to Bautista. Nasty breaking ball, diving down and away for the second out.
I should say most important, he's a winner. He's one of those guys that you can look at the box score and it might be 0 for 3 at the walk, but he put down the right digits. He pulled about 10 balls into strikes with his framing ability. Maybe he threw a guy out. That's a good day in the big leagues.
Brandon Snyder came in to replace Clint Robinson at first base, hit by a pitch on a slider his first time up 2 innings ago. Ball gets away. Great secondary lead by a guy who's not fast. And Jose Lobaton becomes baseball player to get the second base on that ball in dirt.
Well, that's the winning run, and he's playing the score right now. He read the ball in the dirt, sees it kick away, watch him at the top of the screen. No hesitation at all. It was a bonus that the ball kicked up the first baseline, but he would have beat it either way.
And now the Nats will run for him. That is Andrew Stevenson, outfielder. Been around spring training for the last couple of years. What to like about Stevenson, with 304 at Potomac last year and then 246 after a promotion to Harrisburg. And he's gone deep this spring. Two and one. And Snyder not biting on the fastball up. Front door breaking ball will walk him. That's all over the bases here this inning. Trying to take the lead. It's up to Brian Goodwin in the number 9 spot. They're ripping. Good cut.
Okay, so I talked about on Twitter this year I'm going to do some games, some interactive stuff, and put Twitter polls out there. So at fightinghydrant.com, I'm going to fire out a spring training version. We'll see how it goes. I put, who do you like as the Nats catchers? You have Matt Wieters, Jose Lobaton, Derek Norris, Pedro Severino. I'm firing it out there right now. Here we go. See what you think. Want to try to bring you into the broadcast this year, get you more involved. You know, in that Tuesday night game against maybe the Braves or whoever, and it's, hey, you're watching the game, but now you get to participate in it too, and we'll see how it goes and try to give you the results maybe down the road.
Cool.
So there goes my first one. I'm practicing with you guys. Now the commissioner talking about educating fans and making them a part of it and being with the times. We felt like, okay, here we go. My first one says, do you like Bob Carpenter? Yes or no?
I already have the results on that one. And they're pretty ugly. 1 and 2 with 2 outs, 2 men aboard. Turned it over on him, spinning it down and away, and the Nats will strand their 8th and 9th runners of the day. 3-3 game into the ninth. Is it the final? Of course, stops with the Orioles, the Red Sox, Indians, Houston again, and the White Sox last 2 years.
Yeah, fastball, slider, curveball change for Albers. Fastball 74% of the time at 92. Might be best known for his pinch hit triple last year as a Chicago White Sox against the Mets in interleague play. One of the more entertaining at-bats of the year.
That was standing up, right? Didn't even have to slide.
Stand up. She was thinking about inside the Parker.
Jonathan Solano, he tripled yesterday. So who knows what's going on with this battery? Evan Gattis replaced the DH Carlos Beltran, then stayed in to catch. So he bats here leading off the ninth, and it's low and away, ball 1.
I might be wrong, but I remember Evan as a Nat killer when he was a Brave.
He had some big hits against the Nats. I remember having him on a Saturday Fox game, I think, had a huge hit a home run off Steven Strasburg. Is that when he went up in the zone to get one? Guy can flat out rake center field. He's 1 for 2.
So do you pinch run for Evan Gattis here in a 4-4 game at the top of the night? Spring training, but
there's your answer.
Okay. The reason I said do you is because it's spring training. Regular season, it's a no-brainer.
Number 76, Alejandro Garcia.
Does Alejandro bunt right here? Another Twitter poll.
Well, he's the runner.
Just kidding. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. This is Derek Fisher, the hitter.
Does Derek Fisher bunt right here? Or does he shoot a three-pointer?
You got a pretty good response there as we checked your poll during the commercial break there. You had already had nearly 60 responses in a couple of minutes.
I did. Let's see what we got. Lori Fisher, Matt Wieters 57%, Jose Lobaton 22%, Derek Norris 10, Pedro Severino 11. Thank you for voting, ma'am. 278 votes in like 3 minutes. It's great. Way to go. This is fun.
Just don't get hacked by the Russians. Sorry.
It's just hard. It's hard not to do any of that stuff right now.
Low and inside,
especially when you live 5 miles from it all.
Yeah. Everybody just kind of laying back, enjoying a now shady, breezy afternoon in the grandstand here. Just a perfect day for our first game. Albers fades one outside, 2 balls, 1 strike.
He's out.
Cold. He's got the curly W, though. It's all right.
I'd say he's about 4 or 5 years old.
2-1. And this one high in the air toward the gap in left center. You could hear Brian Goodwin call Bautista off the fly ball for the first down. So just after 4 o'clock here in beautiful West Palm, the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. If some of you weren't with us earlier, welcome aboard for our first game at our new spring digs. Official capacity is 6,440 seats. And they can get upwards of 1,000 on the berm out there. There are 3 berms, actually. One down the left field side, foul ground, and then left center, right center. And a possible capacity of up to 8,000 if standing room tickets would need to be sold. Astros offices out there in left field. Nationals offices really right behind us here. A little bit off to the right behind home plate. No balls and 1 strike to Max Stassi, the catcher. 1 for 13, limited play with the Astros last year. Spent most of the season at AAA Fresno, where he hit 7 home runs and drove in 32.
Got a couple write-in votes for the Buffalo. That's not going to happen.
Well, we don't want to forget Wilson. What a great kid.
Good Nat. Good luck.
Wish him health and a quick get-ready thing going for those Tampa Bay Rays.
If you follow him on Instagram, he's working hard. He shows his workouts every day, doing his rehab.
One of the finest young men we've ever had in this organization.
Agreed.
Hard hit, third base side. Soto, Burris, runner went after him in a high throw. So Snyder did what he did what he had to do as Brandon came off the bag to get that high throw, but a 5-3 force out at second. Or 5-4, pardon me. Jake Marisnik and
well, you thought off the bat this might be 2, but Soto with a double pump might have rearranged the rhythm of that play. Manny Burris, with not a lot of interference, backed off the bag and just threw wide. Good throw, I think, gets him.
Just like Ramon Laureano will be the hitter here. Albers hits him. 2 on, 2 out, so that runner gets to scoring position here with the number 9 spot coming up.
Come on, man, go hard. Right fielder, number 75, John Kemmer.
So another chance for John Kemmer. Hit a ground ball to first in his first at bat last inning. And those of you who've been with us for spring training games in the past, we could end up in a 3-3 tie here. Although this being so early in spring training, each team has an abundance of pitchers, and I've been part of some spring training games where maybe they'd play 1 extra inning and then call it quits for the day. Don't want to burn out everybody and have position players out there running around too long. So we'll see if it stays tied, what agreement the ball clubs would come to or already have agreed on. But first of all, get this guy out and get it to the bottom of the 9th, where the Nats will have the top of the order.
I don't know if it'll happen today. You still got to get it out right here, but where you do play a 10th or maybe an 11th is when you share a ballpark with somebody, meaning one team hasn't traveled on a bus with X amount of players.
Yeah. Right side's going to get through. Play at the plate coming. Taylor's throw on the ground all the way in. Solano somehow got it and got the runner at the plate. That was a hot potato for Jonathan. And that puts an end to the top of the 9th.
Look at everybody around. They're so conditioned.
There's no replay, guys.
They're so conditioned for instant replay. They're looking for it. Jonathan Solano thought it was going to be a closer play at the plate. He spun around to make the tag, and the runner wasn't there yet. Watch. Where are you? Oh, you're not here? I have to spin around again. He blocks the plate. I think the foot was in. But 3-3 doesn't matter.
Crazy.
But a fun play to watch again as we go to the bottom of the 9th, all tied up.
Wilmer Defoe leads off against left-hander Asher Tolliver. Defoe hits it hard and out of play. 6 foot 170. Asher Tolliver, former Orioles farmhand, long time in the organization. A-ball and rookie ball last year.
Wilmer's thinking one thing right here.
Well, when we first saw him 2 years ago, we were told by some of the Nats minor league guys that pound for pound, he's one of the strongest players in the organization. 3-1.
Well,
Wouldn't mind seeing him get a leadoff walk either.
He's hitting right-handed. The wind's still blowing out to left, and he has sneaky pop, so he's looking to lift something to left.
Six home runs at Double-A last year. That ball handled by White on the left side. Tyler White throws him out. First out, bottom of the 9th. Manny Burris, another AB.
Double time.
Dusty hoping for an extra base hit right there. Up and away.
Ooh. Come on, see it all the way in.
I think Dusty wants him to see it all the way in. I love being able to hear the skipper right. Somebody, Dan, tell him that we can hear everything right now. And to be careful.
There you go. Stay on it now.
He's right behind the mic that's zip tied to the end of the dugout.
2-1.
That's a
Handled by Moran, the second baseman.
Come on, Michael.
So Michael A. Taylor with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. When this inning is over, if the Nats do not walk off here, we'll kind of hang around for a few seconds and see what happens before we either wrap it up or go to commercial and come back for a 10th inning. There's our game next week. Red Sox will be over here from Fort Myers, a couple of hours to the west of us now. Now that we're downstate, yes, we'll play the Red Sox and the Twins on occasion from over there in the Fort Myers area. Yankees will be making a pretty far trip coming down here from Tampa in a couple of weeks. One to Taylor. High in the air to left. If it's fair, we're going home. Home run. See you later. And the Nats will beat the Astros in walk-off fashion in their first game in the new ballpark. And now Michael A. can drive 45 minutes home and have dinner.
Good tie in the first game of the new yard. Tell you what, one thing we learned quickly in this ballpark is the foul poles are short. I couldn't tell if this is fair or foul. Michael A. Taylor knew right away. That ball was kissed. Listen to the sound. Ball flying to left. Way over the foul pole, way deep. And that's how the first game in this ballpark and the first Masson broadcast of the year ends. How about that?
All right, Dan, with Michael A. Taylor, our home run hero.
Thank you, Bob. Michael, 2 outs in the 9th, tie ball game. Just getting congratulations from everybody. Yeah, Anthony's going to want in on this too, I'm sure. What are you looking for?
Just something I can hit. You know, trying to back the ball up right now at spring training, hit something up the middle. You know, and I got a pretty good pitch to hit right there.
First game in this ballpark, and I'd imagine not a bad way for you to end it, huh?
No, not too bad. I got my family here, so that's nice. You know, good game for them.
Thanks for the time, Michael. Appreciate it. Bob, back to you.
All right, Dan, well done, Michael A. Taylor. Less than an hour north of his home down in the Fort Lauderdale area, and the Nats will win it, out-hitting the Astros 10-7, and they will win it here at the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. 4-3 score. Bryce Harper almost homered several hours ago for Dan Coco. NFB, Bob Carpenter. Hope you enjoyed it, and our next one will be a week from today. Red Sox will be here for a 1:05 first pitch, and that will be fun as well. We'll see what kind of questions get answered between now and then. This has been a presentation of Masson, and from the Palm Beaches, see you later.